would you say if I told you that one of your coaches here was an all-SAC player at Concordia, was one of the best football players in the Marines, and almost made the NFL?
I wouldn't believe you.
Do you have any guess on who that is?
Blake Henry?
I have
No,
idea.
Mike, probably Eschbach.
That's what.
Yeah.
No.
Is it Coach Eschbach?
No.
Who?
My name is Chad Jenkins, Coach Jenkins. I started playing football at a really young age. I started here in Fort Wayne at the age of 9. I played for the Police Athletic League. Started excelling at a young age and got to Concordia and excelled more. I just knew that football was, for me, that was what I wanted to do. This was 1990, so it was a tough era. Concordia, I remember we were not a very good team, but I know I had some really good performances, several 100-yard games, some really close games. Final game of the season, and we played Harding, and we won that game in overtime on a toss sweep to me, and I ran for a touchdown. And I just remember we celebrated like we had won the Super Bowl. You know, it was just one of the greatest feelings ever. I think that was our second win of the whole year. I had a lot of college offers. I had some really big schools, I had some medium schools, and I had a lot of small schools. And originally my first choice was the University of Cincinnati. And then after some thinking, I decided I was going to change and go to Ball State instead, and maybe have an opportunity to get even more playing time. And then I changed my opinion one more time, and I chose the University of Indianapolis. And I had more scholarship money there as well. But I never, ever got to play a single down of college football. Two weeks before camp was supposed to start, I got in a bad motorcycle accident. I was riding a motorcycle on a rainy day, and actually someone pulled out in front of me, and fortunately I didn't crash into them, but I almost dumped the motorcycle and went sideways on me. And when I put my leg down to keep my balance, my leg hit the concrete, and I actually tore an ACL. And I never went to college at all. I was hurt, and I had to call down and talk to that coach and tell him that I wasn't going to make it. And then the next year I was going to try and play again, but my family had a hard time getting the financing. So I felt like the Marine Corps was the best option for me at the time, since I didn't have the finances to do college. And at that point, I just figured my football career was over. I never really thought about it again. And when I got to the Marine Corps, they had a intramural team at my local base, and I joined it for fun, and I excelled really well, and I ended up getting a tryout for what's called the All-Marine Corps team, and I made it. So when you make the All-Marine Corps team, that's your job in the Marines. You literally play football, practice, travel around. It was pretty neat. I remember playing a game with the All-Marine Corps team in West Virginia, and at the end of that game, nobody really knows who you are, but at the end of the game, we had a big line of kids that wanted autographs, and I just thought that was really neat. And I remember staying out there for quite a while, just signing autographs for the kids, just because I was impressed that somebody actually wanted my autograph. When I started playing that, I had no idea there was even such thing as an All-Marine Corps team. To me, that was my college. That was my college right there. When I got home from the Marine Corps, I was a member at the local powerhouse gym here in town, and I made some friends with some guys that were playing for the Indiana Kokomo Mustangs, which is a semi-pro team. I went and tried out, ended up making the squad, and that was probably the highlight of my whole career, really. I think I played 4 seasons with them. One season we were #1 in the nation. We won the national championship, we went undefeated, and I ended up making the all-conference team. I think that was '97. And then we had an all-star game, and I excelled. I did really well in that game. I had a touchdown, but I don't remember the yardage of it. It was a short one. And that's when I first got my first call from a pro team, and that was the Seattle Seahawks. I got the opportunity to go to mini camp tryout, and unfortunately I didn't make the team, but it was a pretty cool experience. Then from there I had several Canadian League tryouts. I flew out to Arizona and tried out for the indoor Arizona Rattlers team. You know, if any time I got invited to one, I went to it. It didn't matter where it was. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make any of those squads. You know, playing at Concordia, I never thought, well, I'm going to be in the NFL someday, or I never really thought like that until you get in a semi-pro level and you start getting some tryout opportunities and teams inviting you to try out. Then you get that pipe dream in your head that, hey, I might have a shot at making this, you know, but unfortunately that's just not the case either. It just never worked out.
Jump on it, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it!
When my days were over as playing, I never lost interest in football, but I didn't really have any avenue to continue. So I did the normal 9 to 5 routine like most people do, and one day I decided, you know, I want to get back into football. So I decided to make a change, and I went to Ohio University, and that's where I earned my master's degree in recreational sports science. And I did that specifically to be a coach. So I started thinking about, well, where would be a good place to start? And I thought, well, why not right at home? You know, go right back to the roots where I started and see if I could get a coaching job.
Come on, D, let's go now.
When you can't play anymore, you kind of live vicariously through the kids and kind of go back to your playing days. You know, you get out here on this field and like even before games, I get that strange adrenaline feeling like I'm going out to play. You know, it's a great feeling, it really is. It's kind of seemed like it's supposed to work out this way.
So what's your reaction to that? Does that surprise you at all?
Yes, that's very
He doesn't really
surprising.
talk a lot. That is
No,
fun.
he doesn't tell us about like that stuff, so that is shocking.
He's like, his energy's like up there, but like, you would never like expect him to be like that, like he went that far.
It makes sense now. He's an incredible coach.
Hey, you guys better wake up. Let's hit somebody, get some excitement.